The train keeps rolling. Now the next stop is WWE 12. We've got Cory Ledesma here, creative director on the project, to tell us all about it. Cory, let's start by addressing, the obvious one. SmackDown versus Raw is no longer in the title.
Yep, SmackDown versus Raw is dead. Long live WWE 12. We've rebranded, repackaged, rebooted the entire franchise. And what we've been saying is that a real true reboot of a franchise is born within software. It's not just a fancy name. And that's exactly what we did with this year's game. So what we've done is actually built the game on new technology. So we have a brand new animation engine, and we're built on a new renderer as well. So basically it means much smoother animations, much more fluid, faster pace. And then graphically, we're really pushing things as well with higher res texture models. We got depth of field working back there to give it some nice realism in there. We got rope physics, a lot of cool new additions this year that just makes the game look great. Makes it look more realistic and more authentic.
All right. Now, so obviously we've got Alberto Del Rio here going up against Randy Orton, right?
That's right. So Alberto Del Rio is a brand new superstar making his debut in this year's game. And then we have Randy Orton. He's actually our cover boy on the cover of this year's game. So this is kind of a big matchup right here we have. And then, gameplay-wise, we feel gameplay is king. We have invested all of our effort this year in gameplay, which means that we've retooled a lot of the core systems, so stuff like AI, reversals being completely redone. We've added a bunch of new gameplay systems in as well. We have wake-up taunts. We have comeback moments. We got a lot of cool new additions. So we also have limit targeting, so you can target certain body parts and wear them down, so you do submissions. So a lot of new strategies in gameplay actually this year. So it changes the way you play, changes the way you approach your opponents. It just offers pretty much a new experience this year's game.
All right. Now we've got a number of audience questions coming in our way.
Of course, our audience is never shy.
Let's see.
Something I've been hearing the audience talk about some of the early footage is the HUD that's on there, and we've heard some complaints about it. But I want to, have everyone rest assured that we're still working on it. It's just a placeholder for E3. We'll continue to fine tune it and make sure it looks good, and also it matches what you see on television. So if you get any questions like that, you can go ahead and skip those, Sean.
I will do my best. Batista Bomb is wondering about, wrestlers that did any voiceover work in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of the superstars participate in voiceover work. It's a big part of our Road to WrestleMania mode, which is our story mode, our single-player campaign. That mode is going to make a return this year as well. It's going to be completely overhauled. There's some things that we didn't really necessarily like last year about the design. A lot of mindless roaming around we wanted to drastically cut down on, and so that mode will be making a grand return with some new superstars that have done voiceover for us. And, WWE is just a great partner. They are heavily involved in making the game, so we really appreciate their support. And they help us make the game as authentic as possible,
All right. Let's see about these questions in here.
Are there a lot of inappropriate questions here?
The reason that I'm taking a while here is that the last demo that we had on the stage was for Silent Hill.
Right.
And we've got some late people submitting questions wondering, is Pyramid Head going to be in the game?
No Pyramid Head.
And then I read those and I think maybe Pyramid Head should be in WWE 12 as a playable wrestler.
Maybe those Silent Hill fans should just not even bother playing that game or picking up this year. It's WWE 12. That's what we want to focus on here.
That's the most important thing. All right,
Jason. This is our new submission system here too, breaking point submission system, brand new mini game. You can also climb to the ropes for a rope break. All new functionality added this year. Is pretty cool. Sorry to interrupt you. Jason's got a question.
Yeah, Jason from Vancouver is wondering about the match types in the game.
Yeah, with a big reboot like we've done in software, new technology, we haven't cut down on any match types, so we're still going to have a large amount of match types this year. We're not talking about if there's any new additions this year. I know a lot of people are wondering if there's a 40-man Royal Rumble, wondering if certain match types are in. We won't be announcing those just yet. We're just talking about one-on-one gameplay. But a little bit later on in the campaign, we'll start talking about the match types. But the good thing is, even though we added new technology, we didn't cut back on any of the content.
All right. Let's see.
And that also goes for create a superstar. A lot of our create modes, we didn't cut back any content there. They'll all will be back. create an entrance, create your own finisher. Those modes will be making in return and getting improved, as well as a brand new create mode that we're going to be announcing a little bit later on, which is exciting. Fans are, they want to create everything in the game. So,
exactly.
It's a lot of work, but we have a amazing, robust creation suite in our game. I think it's tops in the industry, so we always like to build upon that, and our fans love creating stuff. So you'll also be able to upload all that great stuff online again this year as well.
All right. Now, a gentleman calling himself Ms. Man is wondering, are there going to be any legends in this game?
Absolutely. We have probably, in my opinion, one of the deepest and most talented rosters the franchise has ever seen. I think we're kind of going all in on this one. We have new legends that have never been in the game before. We have, a big superstar and diva roster. So I think there's going to be a lot of surprises. I think there are going to be people that are superstars and legends that people weren't expecting to be in the game. I think there's going to be some big surprises. So we're excited to announce that. And that will be coming along a little bit later in August, where we'll announce those new additions to the roster.
AJ from Scarborough is wondering, will the WWE Universe mode return?
Absolutely. We really liked WWE Universe. For those of you that don't know, that made its debut last year. That's where you can kind of follow along on a WWE calendar and play the matches, and we auto-generate those for you. Mm-hmm. And that's making a big return, Universe 2.0, basically. And we have a lot of cool improvements in there, a lot of new story content, a lot more control. Fans were complaining that they didn't have enough control. It's almost starting to move even kind of towards like a GMO type of experience. So there's going to be some really exciting additions to Universe, and we're actually going to detail that out with a full kind of story on Universe a little bit later on. But fans can rest assured that will be in the game this year.
Excellent. Now, Nathan from Corpus Christi is wondering about player progression. How is that going to work?
Yeah, player progression is important because of how popular Create a Superstar is. You want to create your characters and you want to obviously build them up. We're always finding this balance between giving you total control as well as building your player up. So we we do a little bit of both. We allow you to make your guy, if you want a 99 overall and just whip ass all over the place, or if you do want to slowly build it up, we allow that kind of progression as well. So we try to cater to both fans with that one.
Now, you mentioned, create a character just now, and that's obviously a big part of the franchise. You mentioned that you'll be talking about that a little bit more down the road, but Michael Jackson from Georgia is wondering.
Michael Jackson?
He claims that's his name. It might be.
Wow.
It might very well
be. I didn't know he's such a big fan.
Any tidbits that you can throw his way about the create a character mode?
Create a character. Well, it's definitely making a return. We're definitely adding some new parts. I know there's a lot of questions about the mode, and unfortunately we're just not talking about it right now. We're just talking about gameplay and our new technology. But just to answer his question directly, we know it's the most popular mode, so it's something that we pay attention to each year. We like to add new parts. We like to make sure you have as many options as possible to create whatever you want in the mode. So he can rest assured that that's going to be touched upon and better than ever.
All right. Torrin Holland from the UK is wondering about multiplayer. Can you tell us anything there?
Multiplayer, that's kind of a vague one. I mean, we definitely have multiplayer. We definitely have, up to 6 characters in the ring. We definitely have online play. So multiplayer is a big part of our franchise. We feel it's a kind of a party game. You get with your buddies and, you have a few drinks. You play WWE 12 and you have a good old time, So multiplayer is definitely a big part. And also, what's really changed in multiplayer this year is that now you can interrupt the moves. So as I'm doing a suplex, a third party can come in and hit us, and it breaks up the move. We've never had that in the franchise before, so that's a new addition. That's really going to change the multiplayer dynamic because of that new addition that's in there. All
right. Dennis from Denmark is wondering, are there any new weapons in this game?
Weapons. I don't believe there's any new weapons. I think we're sticking with the tried and true assortment of weapons that we have. We'd like to add some new weapons in the future. I think what we're doing this year is really just focusing on core combat.
Yeah.
With the reboot, we want to make sure that's as polished as possible. The more variables you start to bring on, the more complexities you get, harder to balance. So we're sticking with the tried and true, but weapons are always a fun part of the WWE, so we'll make sure in the future those continue to be prominent.
And when the metal folding chair already works so well, why stray away, you know?
Exactly.
All right. Eminem from Detroit, I'm sure that's his real name.
Eminem from Detroit,
is wondering, are we able to battle backstage?
Backstage fights, yeah. That's another thing that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on in the campaign. We did overhaul our backstage fighting system. and it's a big part of Road to WrestleMania, but that's something we're going to detail in and show some videos a little bit later on. But we've overhauled that Backstage system. We weren't happy with it last year, so it's got a brand new fighting mechanic in there, and we'll be excited to unveil that a little bit later on.
Jabroni from Miami is wondering about the pacing of the gameplay. Fast pace, slow pace, is it more or less the same as previous games?
Yeah, that's really exciting, actually. What we've done is we've completely overhauled the match pacing. In the past, I would say the series has been more on the slower side. We've actually picked up the pacing quite a bit with the new animation technology. On top of that, we've incorporated a lot of real match pacing. So the beginning of the match is going to be really fast and furious. Guys are going to be able to pop off the mat really quick. You're going to get a lot of attacks in there. As the guys are wearing down, as more damage is taking place, the slower it gets, the more dramatic it gets, the longer the guys sell the injuries on the ground. And so that real match pace is going to match what you see on television. So I think it's actually a big difference maker this year in the game.
Now, am I mistaken, or does it seem like there's a lot more camera angle changes going on here?
Great point. That's something I didn't bring up, but we have a brand new dynamic camera system in the game. Basically what we've done is we've mimicked every single camera angle they use on television. They have well over 20 different angles that they use, and we've actually matched those exactly. So every time you do these really cool, big, high spots, you'll see those TV, television, camera angles in there. So it gives a real nice, authentic feel in there. And it makes you, reminds you of television when you're watching it. Even this default camera angle that we're looking at right now, that's the one they use exactly on television. So we want to match that exactly.
All right, Matthew from Quebec is wondering if you can elaborate a little bit on the taunt feature.
Yeah, we're just actually watching that in the footage right now. That's what we call the wake-up taunt. So when you do have a finisher store and your guy's on the mat, basically you can hit the taunt button, do the dramatic taunt motion. The camera will cut. It will show you stumble right into his clutches, and he'll be right there all set up for that finisher moment that you can hit. The opponent still has the opportunity to reverse. It's not all automatic, but it does set the stage for your finisher for you, and it creates that dramatic sequence that you see on television.
All right. Mark from Buffalo is wondering if you can clarify the new control system in the game.
Yeah, we have made some changes to the controls. Basically what we've done is we've removed the grapple command from it. It was on the right analog stick. We've actually moved that to the A button. We feel it's a much more easy to pick up and play experience, and we didn't lose any of the functionality from last year. We've actually just kind of improved upon it. And so the A button used to be the action button. We moved that to the left bumper, and now the left trigger is to run. So not significant changes, but enough changes that I think it makes the gameplay feel a little bit tighter, easier to pick up. And it's always good to have your core commands on the face buttons, which we didn't have last year. This is our game designer, Brian Williams, playing this match here. And he's playing as Del Rio, and I think he's really giving it to Orton here. And AI-wise, we are really stepping it up as well. We want the AI to be much more difficult. Some of our hardcore fans that play the game all the time, say that they could beat the game on legend difficulty. That's not cool. We got to make sure that normal difficulty is the new legend difficulty. Right. So we're really going to step up our game on the AI side.
All right. Brandon from Columbus is wondering about the commentary in the game.
Yeah, commentary. We want to continue to improve upon that. We've recorded a bunch of new lines. We have Michael Cole, the ultimate bad guy, calling the match. So we made sure we've added some bad guy lines, some typical Michael Cole, root for the bad guy type lines. So those have been added in there. So commentary, we continue to look at, continue to improve. We feel, there's still some improvements that can be made. It's not perfect, but we're getting there.
Let's see here. We've got one. Oscar from New York is wondering, why is this match taking so long? It's because you guys have a ton of questions. And we want to make sure that we get a bunch of those.
That's right. And we're kind of prolonging the match here, so we can kind of just show you everything. We didn't want to finish it off right away, so that's why we're kind of creating this epic match for you. But our fans are hardcore. They're going to watch us and dissect every single moment and see every single new animation we've added and all that good stuff. So this is actually exactly what a lot of our hardcore fans want, is us to keep gameplay going.
All right. In fact, funny you guys should ask that. We've pretty much reached the end of the demo here. So, Corey, thanks a lot for dropping by. I appreciate it a lot. Can you let everybody out there know when the game is going to be out in stores?
Yes, the game's coming out November 22nd this year, 2011. It's bigger, badder, better. That's our tagline, so definitely pick it up. And yeah, we think you guys are going to love it.
All right, excellent. Thanks a lot for dropping by.
All right.
All right, everybody.